Hey, welcome back. So I'm actually gonna do this episode while the last episode is uploading, and I'm only doing this because, oh my gosh, I just want to play more. I'm sorry. Well, I don't think there's anything to apologize for, but what if last episode there was something I missed or I have to be aware for this next little part? I don't know, but let's get on to it because I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. All of a sudden, my field of vision turned pitch black, and I felt a sharp pain running down my left arm as if it was burning. Ooh. I screamed, not knowing what was going on. What? What was happening? My heart was beating quickly. Because of the pain in my left arm, I wasn't able to think. What was happening? It hurts. What does this mean? Why is it so dark? Where's the electricity? It hurts. Somebody. The inside of my head was falling into panic. I finally noticed that my posture was weird. I'd been standing until just a moment ago, but now I was crawling on the floor as though groveling. Had I fallen over? But moreover, this pain was no laughing matter. It wasn't on the same level as the pain you feel just from bumping into something. My eyes caught something in the darkness. Was someone there? I couldn't tell. Ooh. I couldn't decide whether there was anyone there or not because my eyes weren't adapted to the darkness. It looked like someone was there. It felt like no one was there. I was so agitated that I couldn't even tell. I had to run. I instinctively thought that. I didn't know what it was, but right now, it felt like my life was at risk. I endured the pain and crawling away on all fours, I made my escape. I reached a large window that faced the terrace. There, I finally noticed I was now inside Sphia. I transferred again. A faint light shone in from outside. Beyond the window was only gray. The snow continued to blow. I deliriously beat on the window. But I didn't know how to open the window. Oh, what happened? I timidly turned my head and looked behind me. Engulfed in gray, the lamplight didn't even reach into the inner part of the living area. None of the places I glanced at had any sign of people in them, but they may have just been hiding. What should I do? It was dangerous to just stand there. But where to? Where is it the safest? Run to a private room, head toward the main entrance. I'm guessing a private room would be the more safe option. I'll take refuge in someone's room. If I lock myself in and bar the door, I should be able to escape my pursuer. Oh. For some reason, I did not process what was happening. Right. Didn't Satoru say he was, getting chased? Satoru was getting chased by somebody. And the only person here who has murderous intent would be Inubushi Keiko. So could Inubushi Keiko have some sort of grudge to Satoru? I don't know. But whose room? Satoru's room. But wouldn't Inubushi Keiko be there, waiting for him? I didn't stop to consider anywhere else. In this situation, I couldn't trust anyone. Keeping a sharp lookout, I made for Satoru's room. Closing the door, I lock it behind me. I should be safe now. Just as relief had set in, my fear from before began to return bit by bit and I crumbled to the ground, my strength drained. So I wonder what happened. I know earthquake happened. And then we were with Uni, and then we switched consciousness. We did our personality exchange. But I wonder what Satoru did there. It was still pitch black. I'm guessing Inubushi Keiko awoken because of all that stress and stuff from the earthquake. She awoken, and so now she's killer mode. She's out to kill. And if I'm right about her grudge on Satoru, she's out to kill Satoru. Or something. I'm just guessing here. I couldn't put any power into my torso. My body quivered. With the spell of tension broken, the pain in my left arm began to sharpen. Softly touching it, I felt something slippery. It was blood.
Yukido-kun?
Oh, why is she bleeding? I jumped. Someone was in the room.
私よ。
その声は内海さん。
ええ、そう。どうかしたの？
大変です。急に。
I stopped my mid-sentence and hurriedly snapped my mouth shut. Why was Tsumi in Sato's room? Yeah, why is she?
ユキド君？急に何？どうしたの？
Something's not right. The presence of the one I recognized as Itsumi moved. She was walking toward me. What do I do? Should I run? Can I trust Itsumi? What if Itsumi was the one chasing me? She would have plenty of time to sneak in while I was running toward this room. I couldn't deny the possibility that she's the pursuer, waiting to ambush me. I mean, she's sweet and kind. Just to turn all evil? I don't think she's... well, I don't know. I honestly don't know. She could just turn evil. But if the reverse was true, and Itsumi wasn't the culprit, if she left this room, she would be stepping directly into the path of certain danger. And that's true.
Yukido-kun? 大丈夫?
Itsumi's presence pressed in further, now almost right in front of me. What do I do? What should I believe? I don't know. I don't know. I shut my eyes tight.
あら、停電、治ったみたいね。
Oh. Maybe we get to see where the blood is coming from. I slowly open my eyes. Just as Tsumi has said, the electricity was back. To my eyes, which have been accustomed to the dark, it was blinding, so I shielded my eyes with my hand. The clock on the table entered my field of vision. 7:43. Because Sato had said please check the time, I had unconsciously become sensitive to the presence of clocks. Had it been about 10 minutes since the transfer? If that was the case, the last transfer happened at 7:33.
ユキド君、あなたどうしたの?
Oh, I'm the one bleeding. Itsumi's face went pale and she rushed over to me. I inadvertently tensed.
血が出てるじゃない。
I looked at my left arm as well, and was profoundly shocked. My, or more accurately, Satoru's left arm was dyed a deep red. Not only that, there were drops forming on my fingers that dripped to the floor. Many bloodstains had already formed there. I think he was stabbed. I grew dizzy. It felt like I was going to go anemic. My left arm already felt like it was burning. Yeah, I know how it feels not to get stabbed, but to have a wound. It feels like it's burning. The pain reverberated through my whole body.
すぐに手当てしないと。待ってて。すぐに救急箱。
Separating from me, Itsumi quickly made to leave the room. I panicked and grabbed Itsumi's arm, pulling her back.
待って。今外に出たら危険よ。
Itsumi turned back toward me with suspicion.
その。
Sounds enveloped on the room.
冬川さんなの？
そうです。
I had to say it.
私がこっちに来た直前に、つまり人格交換が起きた直前に ということですけど、
ええ、
誰かに襲われたの。この手もその時に。
誰かって。
わかりません。顔は見えませんでした。
That's why. How did how did she get the wound then? Like sliced open, stabbed or something? I don't know. I'm guessing she was stabbed? Or maybe just cut. I'm guessing just Kokoro was just cut. Itsumi stayed silent. She was probably contemplating who the criminal was. Other than myself and Itsumi, Uniyuni and Inubushi, or Tori, are currently in Sphere. Seeing as I was attacked, I'm obviously exempt, meaning I was one of the remaining three. Uni's only a child and he's a really good kid, so there's no way he'd attack me. That's what I like to think, but I don't have any proof. I think in the wary corner of my mind. The child called Uni is somehow unnatural. Yeah, I agree with you there. Especially the way he speaks. There's something strangely out of place about it. It's like he's kind of mature, right? Come to think of it, when we're reunited, he said, "I wanted to see you," and... Wait. That's the Uni of the shelter cabin. It isn't the Sphere Uni. But are the Uni in the mountain hut and the Uni in Sphere even the same person? Everything related to Uni was full of mysteries. I think of him as a really good kid, but he might possess something I'm not aware of. As for Inubushi and Itsumi, they're even more suspicious than Uni. If Inubushi Keiko wakes up, then that would mean the awakening of the murderous monster. On the other hand, it seems really strange for Itsumi to have been in Sato's room. I took a good look at Itsumi. I almost let out a scream. Itsumi's palms. Her palms are... Oh. Okay, so... she was bleeding too. Oh my gosh. As I thought, was she the one who... I took a quick inventory of the room. I didn't see anything especially out of place. There weren't any knives wet with blood or anything lying around. But... I don't know. Could this kind-looking woman have really done it? Something so terrible? I don't know. I can't even picture Itsumi brandishing a knife. Itsumi seemed to notice that her hands were covered in blood as well. Taken aback, she looked at her hands.
違うわよ。これは今あなたに引き止められた時、その腕に触れたから。
私まだ何も言ってないんですけど。
Itsumi's face grew resentful.
聞かなくてもわかるわ。その目を見れば。
Ooh. The atmosphere of the room instantly soured. Itsumi and I stared fixedly at one another, both of us standing stock still.
ねえ。
As if she was trying to say something very difficult, Itsumi's timid voice cut in.
あなた、襲われた時の記憶ははっきりとしてるの？
いえ、とっさだったからはっきりと。でもそれどういう意味ですか？
本当に襲われたのかしら？
I was bewildered. I wonder what she's talking about.
怒らないで聞いてね。襲われたというのが錯覚だったということは考えられないかしら？
But what's with my wound? You know? Where did that come from, huh? I got angry. There's no way it was a hallucination. It's a fact that my left arm is wounded.
じゃあ、私に怪我させたのは誰なんですか？
あなた。
え？
あなた自身じゃない？
そんなわけ。
あなたが自分自身を傷つけていないというなら、ユキド君よ。
But why would he do that? In other words, it appears that Utsumi's trying to say that Sato had cut himself.
そんなはずない。確かに私は。
Certainly, I didn't see anyone. There isn't any proof. However, I don't think Satoru will cut himself. Besides, he told me. It seems someone is after me.
サトルには自傷行為に走る兆候があるんですか？
Utsumi shook her head as if troubled.
いいえ、私は知らないけど。ということはやっぱりイヌブ。
Yep. Utsumi shut her mouth in mid-sentence. Inubushi Keiko. In other words, Utsumi wanted to say it was Inubushi Keiko. Yes, Inubushi was a rare example of a natural killer, a murderous monster. If I'm trying to find out who attacked me, it's true that she'd be the most likely suspect. If she awoke, it wouldn't be weird for the Sphere to be turned into a stage of an unprecedented tragedy. I probably had a really serious look on my face. Utsumi gave a kind smile as if to help me relax.
何もわからないうちからあれこれ疑っているのは良くないわ。それより早くあなたの手当てをしなくちゃ。
Wait, so this means that Utsumi knows of Inubushi Keiko's DID. If that's the case, why isn't Inubushi Keiko restrained, as Kokoro pointed out a long time ago? Oosh. Utsumi unlocked the door and opened it just enough to peer outside and see what was happening.
特に怪しい人はいないわ。さ、来て。
The figures of Yuni and Hotori were there in the kitchen. Our tenses caused both Utsumi and I to give a start when we saw them. Either of them may be the one who attacked me. Even if I tried to act calm, I couldn't help but be aware of them. However, I didn't see anything especially suspicious. Of course, they weren't holding knives or anything, and there wasn't even a trace of splattered blood on them.
サトル、どうしたの？
Yuni said in exaggerated astonishment. It's only natural, I guess. In order to show my composure, I smiled. Eek. I couldn't smile. An intense pain runs through me. It didn't seem like the blood was stopping, and drops of it fell here and there as I walked, adding new bloodstains to the floor.
ねえねえ、血がいっぱい出てるよ。大丈夫なの？
Yuni honestly seemed uneasy. Then, Utsumi patted Yuni's head gently while smiling.
冬川さんがね、ちょっと手を滑らせて自分で切っちゃったのよ。
え？そうなの？っていうか、今は心になってるの
？Though Utsumi's words made me feel gloomy, I forced a smile to my face. I broke out in a cold sweat from the pain.
おっちょこちょいだね。
Yuni seemed to have accepted what Utsumi was saying. I myself can't accept it at all. The possibility that there's another culprit is too high. But I felt it wouldn't be good if I were to say that out loud. I don't want to provoke the real culprit, and I don't want to suspect an innocent person. Just like Utsumi said, it isn't good to doubt people when you don't know anything yet. Right now, it's best if I just observe the situation.
ねえ、救急箱を持ってきて。
Utsumi dispensed instructions to Yuni and Hotori and then sat me down. Hotori came pattering up to me with the first aid kit. Judging from her panic appearance, she was probably worried about me as well. Oh, though she would be the one to, maybe slice me. Her other personality, anyway. Yuni was watching at a distance. Perhaps he wasn't good with blood.
ちょっと待ってて。手を洗ってくるから。
She probably can't do anything to treat me while they're bloody like that. Utsumi trotted over to the sink. Then, as if saying I'll do it myself, Hotori pointed at the tip of her own nose. Then, as if saying I'll do it myself, Hotori pointed at the tip of her own nose. Standing in front of me, she opened the first aid kit. Hotori's hands were clumsy. She was struggling to wrap the bandage. it got twisted halfway, and a puzzled expression like a question mark rose to her face. But still, it was clear that she was trying her best.
ねえ大丈夫なのサトルじゃなくて心本当に平気
Without looking directly at the wound, Yuni worried over me.
頑張ってほとりちゃん
Okay, so it was just her hand, his hand. Her hand. It's Kokoro. We're Kokoro. On the other hand, Utsumi was behind Hotori, cheering her on. I suddenly remembered that out-of-place feeling. Utsumi called Hotori-chan very naturally, even though her real name was Inubushi Keiko. Are Hotori and Inubushi Keiko different enough to tell apart at a single glance? I would say so. You know, Hotori's like sweet, kind, quiet, doesn't speak. And I would imagine Inubushi Keiko, like when she was awakening, like fierce and growling and aggressive. Two personalities in one space. Or is it that only the Hotori personality has surfaced lately? Thinking along those lines, an unpleasant thought comes to mind. What if the girl before my eyes who's treating me right now wasn't Hotori but Inubushi Keiko? Inubushi Keiko but doing a facade. Or maybe Inubushi Keiko never had DID in the first place, and she was only pretending she had DID from the beginning. The possibility of her being the one who attacked me grew remarkably higher. Not noticing my feelings of unrest, Hotori let out a deep breath. The treatment was over before I knew it. My left arm was stiff from the bandage. It was really uneven.
すごいね下手くそだね
Hotori hung her head in embarrassment.
ありがとうほとりちゃん
Hotori smiled slightly at my words. Afterward, Utsumi wrapped the bandage again correctly and administered a painkiller. Thanks to that, the pain went way down. Except my head became a little foggy. A side effect of the painkiller, most likely. I sat across the sofa and took a deep breath. Utsumi brought me a blanket.
安静にしててね
はい
Utsumi also sat down on the sofa. Yuni and Hotori sat down as well, relief on their faces.
僕が停電直したんだよすごいでしょ
Oh, you did.
偉いわユニくん
いやそれほどでもないけどもっと褒めて
During the conversation, Hotori watched us, smiling. Among these three people is the one who attacked me. It seems unimaginable while looking at a calm scene like this, but it's certain that the culprit is among them. Who was it that attacked me? Why? To what end? During the treatment, they all seemed extremely kind. Everyone worked as hard as they could to treat me, to treat Satoru with tender care. Underneath that mask of kindness, there's someone whose true nature is that of a killer. Who should I believe in? I can't trust anyone. I want to trust them, but I can't. There's no certainty. I can't be convinced. I feel like grabbing my head and screaming. Throb. My arm hurt. Even when the painkiller, it pulsed with pain whenever I moved. What would happen to him? What would happen to him if I was killed while in this body, Satoru's? What will become of my existence? What will become of his existence? That anxiety remains inside my head. This world and that world. The newspaper, Yuni, Inubushi, the personality transfer. And now there's attempted murder on top of that.
わからないことだらけだよねえサトルじゃなくて心
It seemed Yuni still wasn't used to me being Fuyukawa Kokoro inside Satoru's body. He frowned for a moment from his mistake.
ココロン、どうしたの？
Once again, he stared into my face.
ねえ、ココロンも褒めてよ。僕が停電直したんだよ。すごくない？
Seeing Yuni's pure and guiltless smile, I hung my head and smiled too. I don't believe that this smiling child is a killer. I don't want to believe it. Neither do I. Swallowing the uneasiness in my mind, I tried to act as normal as possible.
すごいね。でしょ？どうやって直したの？電気の知識とかあるんだ。
それは、あれをああしてこうしたんだよ。
で、どうやって直したの？
だからなんで聞くんだよ。
なんで教えないのよ。
言いたくないから。
ユニ？
だってねえユニくん、もしまた停電があった時にユニくんの直した方法を知っていれば私たちでも対応できるでしょ。お願い教えて。
後で飴玉あげるから。
Although I don't have one on me,
食べ物に釣られたりなんかしないよ。
then Itsumi clapped her hands.
それじゃ後でケーキ作ってあげるわ。本当？ケーキ？
What happened to not being baited by food? I smiled bitterly. But still, I was genuinely enjoying this silly conversation. A gentle warmth spread through my distrustful heart. Even though this trivial everyday life was only natural until now. Ever since the plane crash, everything's gone mad. I want to go back. Even a moment sooner to those days spent laughing innocently. Yuni easily confessed how he had done it. There really wasn't any reason for the power outage. The breaker on the panel had just been tripped. It was probably due to the earthquake, was what Itsumi guessed. Though Yuni had told us that he fixed it, he hadn't really done anything but set the breaker back to how it was. That's why he didn't want to tell us so badly. Aww. His having said he fixed it with great confidence when he didn't actually do very much was probably embarrassing for him. By the way, it seems that there's no whipped cream stored in Sphia. So Yuni completely fell for Itsumi's lie. Aww. Thanks to that, it was a lot of work soothing Yuni out of his bad mood. It seems the panel was in the basement. It was attacked during the power outage with good timing. If the power outage wasn't caused by the earthquake, but by human hands, there might be a clue there about my attacker. I went to take a look. The basement felt pleasantly cool. I used a pocket flashlight to examine the inside of the dimly lit room in detail. The switchboard was near the ceiling. I could see it very well from below. A cardboard box feels so unreliable though. We can look for a footstool, but we might not find one. Let's climb up on the cardboard box. So I want to see Kokoro fall. I put my foot on the cardboard box and peered into the switchboard. There was nothing particularly suspicious there. Oh, okay, so the cardboard box didn't just squish. The switches were covered in dust, but there was only one with the imprint left by Yuni's thin finger. There was no signs that had been touched by other people. Was the breaker tripped by the earthquake after all? The moment I tried to get down from the cardboard box, my foot sank into the box. Yes, that's why I chose it, Kokoro. I, who had lost my balance, was thrown to the floor. My injured left arm was hit hard. Ooh. The pain made me see stars. A weird scream issued from my mouth. As if to strike the final blow, the cardboard boxes began to collapse and crash down on me. When it was over, I was pinned underneath them.
大丈夫？大丈夫じゃない。いたたた。
As Uni helped me up, the pain rendered me briefly unable to speak.
もう同時だな。ココロンって本当に20歳？実は子供なんじゃないの？
Responding to Uni's line with a wry smile, I felt a sensation similar to deja vu. I had heard a similar line in the basement of the shelter cabin. Yeah?
ねえ、ユニ？何？
I challenged him with the same question.
あなた、クローンじゃないわよね。
I wondered what the Uni here will answer.
違うよ。クローンじゃないってば。
What? 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 What?
さっきも同じこと聞いたよね。
Oh my gosh, what? So, what? My heart jumped. I unintentionally began staring hardly at Uni's face.
さっき？さっきっていつ？
Yeah, come on, when?
さっきはさっきだよ。
When I asked him when he meant, he only replied with before. It seems that was all he was going to reply with, no matter how many times I asked. Left with no other choice, I changed the question.
あなたは私のことちゃんと知ってるのよね。え？
Oh, that's right. This Uni is facing Satoru, the body of Satoru, so how...
冬川心のこと覚えてるでしょ？
Just what is going on here? Uni's face instantly clouded over. The tone of his voice was devoid of the energy he had just before.
僕、飛行機に乗ってて、そしたら墜落しちゃって、ココロンが僕のこと守ってくれて、でもいつの間にかここに。気がついたらこんなところに来てて、ココロンがいなくて、すごく寂しくて。
Just as I thought. I was convinced.
ねえ、本当に今のサトルはココロンなの？
Even then, Uni appeared as if he was about to cry. Behind his glasses, his eyes began to grow wet. Poor Uni. A child this small, thrown into such an unfair situation. I felt like taking him in my arms. However, I endured it. Because if I hugged him, then I might have started crying too.
ほら、男の子なんだからメソメソしないの。
I intentionally tried to use a bright tone. Uni's expression grew complex. If Ryukara Kokoro had entered Yukiro Sato, it was probably too difficult to erase that sense of incompatibility.
泣いてないもん。
Yeah, right. As if trying to hide his tears, Uni suddenly turned on his heel and ran up the stairs. Alone inside the now quiet basement, I bit my lip. As I thought, Uni was teleporting. I didn't know if the timing was the same, but there was a high possibility that it was the same cycle as when we changed places. In other words, I never broke contact with this one Uni, but then why is he acting like this? And oh, it's strange. Ugh. And another Uni never broke contact with Satoru, or maybe there had never been another Uni in the first place. This is getting so confusing. It would be better to try to confirm this with Satoru. Since it's him, he may be able to reach some sort of answer.
サトルか。
In this situation, no matter what anyone says, the only one I can put my absolute trust in is Satoru. Only Satoru who I'm unable to see or meet. Hey, what kind of person are you? I touched the bandage wrapped around my left arm. I was certain that Satoru's wound wasn't self-inflicted. There was no reason. It was based on my intuition. My body shivered on remembering the fear I had felt in the darkness. No, that was wrong. There was no way it was self-inflicted wound.
ごめんなさい。ちょっと傷つけちゃったね。守ってあげられなかったね。
As if confirming the presence of its warmth, I silently rubbed my left arm. I returned to Satoru's private room. A dry bloodstain remained near the entrance. With that unpleasant feeling, I sat down on the bed. I found a note left on the top of the desk. It was a message from Satoru. Panicking, I pick up the note. Hey, come on, Kokoro! He was mad all of a sudden.
何よ。
I got a little angry. The scrawled sentences continued. Transfer at 1:07 p.m. That's it? That's all there is? Is this all you wanted to say? Certainly, as a reply, what you wrote was wonderfully concise. You replied perfectly with what I asked, after all. I somehow understood what the illustration you attached meant too. But you know, isn't writing only one sentence a little bit too cold? Can't you, I don't know, write something with a little more depth? We can't meet in person, but at least we're lucky enough to be able to exchange information, right? Wouldn't anyone try to make use of this? You agree, right? We're kind of like partners, you know? Playing the personality exchange. I unintentionally burst into laughter. Yep, I understood why he got angry. Sorry, seems like a guest has arrived. I'll continue writing later. Ah, right, before I forget to write it. Did you already listen to the voice recorder in the shelter cabin? I'm mentioning it again here just in case. Looks like someone's after me. Be careful. While I'm in the shelter cabin, I'll consider your body my top priority too. Well then, I'm counting on you, Kokoro. The part that says sorry seems like a guest has arrived bothers me. Guest. Was that guest the culprit that was after Satoru? It was no use just thinking about it. I sat down in front of the desk and I attempted a serious reply. I picked up a pen and started a new note. I used a fresh sheet of paper.
なんて書き出しがいいのかな。
I had run into this problem again. I wasn't very good at writing letters in the first place. Right. Salutations. Please forgive the lateness of my reply. I hope this letter finds you well.
堅苦しいかな。
But with that said, something like Dear Satoru was way too embarrassing.
何迷ってるんだかな、私ったら。
It was somehow strangely awkward. I recalled when I was in elementary school writing my first love letter. In those days, my parents wouldn't buy me a cell phone. Therefore, I was a girl unfamiliar with email. In order to convey my feelings to the boy I liked, I wrote a little analog on stationery. With my heart pounding into every letter of every line, I poured my entire spirit into what I wrote. Remembering it made me feel nostalgic, but embarrassed at the same time. By the way, as to whether my love was requited or not, I'll silently lock that up in my heart.
さてと。
Now was not the time to get lost reminiscing. I held my pen and put strength into my left hand.
いて。
Ooh, that's right. Come to think of it, my left hand was hurt. Even though I'm left-handed. I wouldn't be able to write anything like that. With no other option, I held the pen in my right hand. For the opening sentence, I decided to go with something simple and straightforward. Nice to meet you, Yukado-san. Nice to meet you, Yukado-san. The characters look like wriggling earthworms. I relate, Kokoro. I relate. Well, the fact that I'm right-handed, but I can't do crap with my left hand.
うわ、読めたものじゃないわ。
I crunched up the memo paper into a ball and threw it behind me. But even so, my dominant arm was useless right now. I let out a sigh. I took another stab at it.
ああ、うまく描けないよ。
Just deal with the pain. I felt like crying.
こうなったら勢いよ。うん、勢いさえあればニュアンスは伝わるはず。
I forced myself to go on, struggling against myself to continue writing. Nice to meet you, Yukiro-san. I wonder what I should write. There are so many things I want to write, I can't seem to bring it all together very well. You could probably tell just by looking, but my handwriting is like this too. This might be difficult to read, so please forgive me. First off, I'll report all the important things to say to you. Excuse me. I've read all the messages that you left me on this notepad. I was only able to listen to half of your message on the voice recorder left at the shelter cabin. But I was at least able to listen up to, "It seems someone's after me." And about your left arm, the one who cut your left arm, that someone was the one who did it. That person tried to take away your life. In other words, that's how it is, right? But just who is that someone? Please explain in a little more detail. What's happening with Satoru's body? Why it is that you believe someone is after you? Or then, do you say that on the shelter cabin's voice recorder too? I was unable to hear part of it, so I don't know. If by chance you didn't record it there, please reply here. But about the culprit. The truth is, it's not as if I don't have any ideas. Here, I hesitated to continue writing. I wasn't confident enough to think that it was okay to write this. But in the meantime, if Satoru and I didn't properly share all of our information between us, mysteries we would have been able to solve together would go unsolved. In the end, I stopped hesitating and continued to write. There's no reason to beat around the bush, so I'll just go ahead and write it. Suzukai Hotori-chan, you're aware that she has DID, right? Recently, she's been fixing her Hotori personality though. However, I don't think it'll be unusual for her hidden personality to awaken at any time. And by her hidden personality, I mean the other personality within her. The personality that killed 12 people in Awazumi Hospital. It may be possible that that personality is targeting you, Satoru. I say that, but it's not as if I have any decisive evidence. It might not be appropriate to write things like this even though I don't have any real evidence. Even so, I don't think it would be going overboard to just give a warning. Be careful, just in case. Next, about Uni. It's extremely complicated, so I can't say it very well. What should I do? That's right. Okay, first, there's something I need to ask you. Have you ever met a young boy by the name of Kasuda Uni? You know, right now, I'm thinking this. That maybe Uni is teleporting. Teleporting as in both his body and consciousness are transferring together. And the timing of his teleportation is at the exact same as when Sato and I transfer. Do you get what I'm trying to say? In other words, at the same time that I transfer back to Mount Akakura, Uni's mind and body jump back to Mount Akakura as well. Because, if that isn't so, I can't explain how Uni could exist as two people at the same time. That's why, by my prediction, Sato shouldn't have met Uni even once. That's what I thought. Which is it really? Have you met Uni or haven't you? Please tell me. And I have two more things I want you to tell me. The first is about Sphia. Sato should know much more than I do about this facility, right? That's why I want you to tell me everything about Sphia. Like how to get outside and how to communicate with the outside world. The second is about the shelter cabin. In the time that I'm away from the cabin, please tell me if anything important happens. I'm sorry. It feels like I'm all writing as please tell me, and things like that, huh? As an apology, here's the report. First, about the earthquake. An earthquake occurred at Sphia. Because of that, the breaker was tripped and a blackout occurred. It's fixed now, though. And the times of transfer, I checked properly just like you told me, so here they are below. 1:07 p.m. transfer to Sphia. 1:40 p.m. return to the shelter cabin. 6:03 p.m. transfer to Sphia. 3:36 p.m. return to the shelter cabin. 7:33 transfer to Sphia. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Transfer has occurred 5 times, 2.5 round trips, and at present I'm still here. It looks like the time's all over the place, but do you think there's a pattern? I can't really see a pattern. Well then, one last thing. I'll do as much as I can while I'm in this world, so... Satoru too, please take care of my body. Things are pretty bad here, but it's a serious situation there too. It might be kind of weird to say this, but... please, try not to die. No matter what happens, I'll protect your body until the very end. So you too, Satoru, please protect my body. Live. Survive. The two of us together, we'll escape from this weird phenomenon. And then, I can't think of anything else. Anyway, I'm waiting for the day I can meet you. For sure, somewhere we'll... So then, this is where Kokoro will end her message. Kindly forgive the roughness of my writing. Later then. P.S. If you do anything weird to my body, I'll never forgive you. Don't touch it too much, okay? Rather, don't touch it at all. P.P.S. Come to think of it, I forgot to write something important. About the newspaper. You saw it too, right, Satoru? The newspaper that was in the shelter cabin. Ooh. And then they switch. Oh. She's reading. Oh, he was reading it. Oh, okay. I was sitting in a chair, the newspaper spread out in front of me. I jumped again. I had returned to the shelter cabin. The newspaper in my hands had adhesive tape all over it, holding it together. While reading the paper, I heard Yomugi and Yuni's voices.
ユニ隊員、青と白のストライプという柄について君はどう思うかね。
ちょっと子供っぽいと思うであります。よもぎ隊長。
They're role-playing.
それは言えるな。
What were they talking about?
僕は黒とか紫が好きなんだけどね。
何を言うか、白が良いに決まってるだろう。親切のような純白こそが男のロマンなんだ。
それっておじさんっぽいよ、よもぎ隊長。
ユニ隊員こそ子供っぽくないぞ。
Somehow, it seemed they were talking in an awfully serious tone of voice. Why were they calling each other Captain and Private? Some sort of exploration team role-playing? What the heck? I folded the newspaper. Freaking Yomugi's face? What is that? Yuni and Yomugi were looking in my direction. No, that wasn't it. I was sitting with my legs wide open. Oh. The two of them were staring up my skirt?
やはり白は譲れないな。
Yomugi nodded while mumbling yup yup. His bearded face had become as red as if he had been in a hot bath for a full week.
何が白は譲れないですか
Oh, perverted. Oh. I panicked and snapped my knees shut.
おいおい釣れないな、ゆうきどうくん。もうちょっとぐらいサービスしてくれたって。
Oh, come on. In response to Yomugi's words, I... What? Let them see more? Get... I would like to get angry at Yomugi, but I don't see where this leads
しょうが
to.
ないな。それじゃあちょっとだけですよ。
Oh my gosh, okay.
良いのか？冗談のつもりだったんだが。冬川さんには悪い気もするが、ゆきどうくんの行為を無にすることもできない。
Oh gosh.
それじゃあちょっとだけ。
ええ、ちょっとだけ。
What's Kokoro gonna do? As I beckon him closer, Yomugi moves his face nearer and nearer to my lap. Yomugi's fearless face was grinning now, widening into a leer. Estimated distance, 5 miles. To Yomugi, who had come even closer, I delivered a full-strength blow with the rolled-up newspaper. Good job, Kokoro.
何をするんだ、ゆきどうくん。
私は冬川心で
え、交換しちゃったの？
With my entire body's blood supply climbing up to my face, I smack Yomiki's head over and over again.
見損なったわ。そんな人じゃないと思ったのに。もうバカバカ。変態、ド変態、むっつりスケベの高校チキ。
おい、待ってくれよ。僕は何も有機堂君に頼んだわけじゃ。
頼むとか頼まないとか、そういう問題じゃないでしょ。
I swung the newspaper sword down at Uni's head too. But he narrowly dodged my strike, so I only sliced the air instead. Overwhelmed with embarrassment, I retreated, covering my head with my blanket.
サトルに一言ぐらい注意してくれたって。したよ。
何度もね。
でも癖なんだって。
だから気を抜くとすぐ元に。
Wow.
何よそれ。うわー、もう超恥ずかしい。
I was so embarrassed, tears started to form in my eyes, while biting into my blanket.
それに子供っぽいパンツで悪かったわね。
If I knew something like this would happen, I would have worn my game panties. God, what am I thinking?
一応気にするんだね。
まあまあ、そういうのがいいって人もいるし。
慰めになってない。
I threw the newspaper at him. It hit Yomiki's face with a resounding smack. It's a really important thing to a maiden. Pulling the blanket over my head, I heard the voices of Yomiki and Uni frantically trying to apologize. Was this enough for now?
いけない。
I forgot to check the time. The wristwatch was in my pocket this time.
腕時計は毎回外してるし、足開いて座るし。何よもう。
Yeah, what's with the wristwatch, Sato?
それでも相棒、デリカシーのないやつ。
Spitting out one complaint off after another, I confirmed the time. The clock indicated 8:11 p.m. Since about 5 minutes had passed since the transfer, I would say the transfer happened at 8:06. Right. He didn't leave a message this time, so I tried playing back the VR. It started playing back the continuation of the message from before.
何者かに命を狙われているらしい。いや、まだ断言はできないんだが、なんとなくそんな気がするんだ。事故にしては不自然なことが2度も続けて起こった。犯人が誰なのかはわからない。見当もつかない。そこにいる内海さん、ユニ、それから犬伏。
So there is a Uni.
いや、鈴影ほとりと言った方がいいかな。
Yeah, that's right.
ともかく3人のうちの誰かが俺を殺そうと。
There was a slight pause. It seemed like Sato had gone silent while still recording. After a while, the message continued to play.
もちろん俺だってこんなことは考えたくないさ。杞憂であってくれればいいと思っている。だが用心するに越したことはない。そうだろ。その体は俺のものであると同時に今はお前のものでもあるんだ。お前がその体に入ったままだいたい想像はつくよな。頼んだぞ心。俺もこっちにいるときはできる限りのことをするから。それじゃまたな。
And that was it. There were no new recordings after that. I'm here. Okay, well, since it's a new chapter, I think I'll stop here. Ooh, man, I still want to keep going, but I'll upload last episode and then this one and then do a new recording. But wow. Wow. What did we learn today? I actually forgot. I'm really dumb. Okay, yeah, we switched to okay, there you go. We switched to Sato's body, and we oh yeah, we noticed that we got cut, and this whole past hour or so was us trying to figure out who was the culprit that cut us, who was chasing after us, because Sato himself said that there was somebody chasing after him, and he wasn't sure whether it was Utsumi, Yuni, or Inubushi, or Hotori. So that's basically what we learned. That's basically the important stuff that we learned this episode. Very interesting, and like I keep saying every episode, I can't wait to do more. Well, I don't have any else to say about it, except that that scene that just happened was really hilarious. That gave me a good laugh. Anyway, yeah, I'm done for today. Thank you, and see you next time.